you come here?
That's a cute story.
Couple hours
Usually
before
we
you-
have our
Like I
pictures
said, about
taken
a year
here.
ago, a year before
We're
we were
usually here at
we wanted
about
to do
8:30,
something
9
special.
o'clock.
We got talking
Then we
about it.
line up
Somebody
and
mentioned
start over
it's
through
too
about
bad
10.
we couldn't get the old
They
velvet.
line up for the parade. What's the parade start? 10:30?
And so you said you're here about 8, 9 o'clock?
Yeah, about
Okay.
8:30, 9 o'clock.
All right, good.
Then what they usually do is take the company picture
He sold it
every
to a
year.
lady that
But
he went to school with in the early
Um,
70s. He graduated. He
what
didn't
did
know
I
her
wanna
name.
ask? I had a
He knew her
question.
baby. So
Oh,
Mark
if you,
was school business.
this is an unfair question for you, but
We got her last name.
technology's changed so much. But
George and I-
how do you compare today's trucks to the 72?
oh my lord, I like comparing a horse to a big old LaSalle, you know what?
She had a beautiful home on top of Mount Harlow.
What do you think? What's your opinion of the two of them and the
They're,
Her
differences?
husband is a developer.
I mean, when I started out here with that, you got a pumper that pumps about 200 gallons a minute. And it carried 50 gallons of water.
The 72?
No, that 36.
Oh, the 36. 200 gallons a minute.
Yeah,
72 gallons of water?
and 50 gallons of water.
50 gallons of water.
The 72 was 1,000 gallons a minute and 600 gallons of water.
Do you remember when they got that truck?
Yeah, I went to New York and got it. 1971, Veterans Day, 1971.
How big of a deal was that?
It was quite a deal. Four of us went out there,
Yeah.
and where they built the truck, and they ran it through. The guy that went with me had passed on now, but they showed us how to operate it. We come back with it, and thought we had quite a thing. And I drove that for 35 years, and we still got it. What I think it is, they're waiting to give me a ride in the cemetery in it.
The what?
They're waiting to give me a ride in the cemetery in it.
That's not going to be
Oh.
for another. That's not going to be for another 20 years.
Yeah. But
How did you like that truck?
like it, I liked it. But then we got one that was pumped 1,500 gallons a minute. It held 1,000 gallons of water. The next one we got pumped 2,100 a minute and held 3,800 gallons of water. That's a tandem downstairs. So there's a lot of difference in equipment.
3,800.
Yeah.
The winner.
But you take a truck that pumps 2,100 a minute. That's a lot of water, you know
This lady
that?
in town
Can make the
gives the
difference.
department
Yeah, if you've got the water.
massages a
Yeah.
month.
We raffle them off for $1.
Yeah,
What
we
do you-
used to years ago, like, if we ran short of water, get some farmers and they fill up milk cans and come out and dump it into your booster tank, see? To give you some water to fire, things like that. Of course, later on, you got extra tankers and all this and that to bring the water, but things have changed quite a bit.
Now, whether it's the 4th of July or just in the street, which one do you like to drive better, the 36 or the
Put it
72?
right in the middle, Grandpa.
Oh, I've never had a 72, but the 36, they always figured he and I should be riding in it because they're the two oldest ones here. And
Yeah, but if you just take it off base, I don't think it's on the floor. I don't think.
Cap LaRose, take one. So, I'm going to have you just tell me, because the audience doesn't know, your name, how long you've lived in Bristol, and how long you've been with the fire department.
right now,
Yep.
my name is Roy E. LaRose. I came to Bristol in 1941 from Moncton. I've been in the fire department 62 years as of April 4th.
And what role have you played at the fire department over the years?
I was first assistant for a while, second assistant, and captain for 30 years.
And you drive trucks. You drive what do you drive? Or what have you driven over the years?
I've driven over the fire department.
Yep.
I drove everything they had, but most of the time I liked the tanker because of the 9-speed transmission. Some guys weren't used to it, but they used to ask me which one I wanted, and but I usually always drove. I didn't pull much hose. I usually on the pumper.
What was your favorite part about the years that you've spent at the fire department? What have you valued the most?
Driving the fire truck. Yeah.
Favorite truck?
Yeah, it's the tanker we had.
What year?
89. Bought it new in 89.
That was the best one.
Yeah.
Why?
It was the fastest one.
Did you ever take that thing out on live calls? How often?
Every time.
That was the one.
Yeah.
Well,
But I drove the pumper a lot too, but I used to switch back and forth. It depended on who wanted what. But they knew I liked the tanker better than did the pumper, so they'd always ask me first, but they knew which one I was going to take. But we got rid of it here when we got the last new one.
how's Brett doing over there as the first lieutenant?
He's doing good. He's right on the ball and knows everything that's going on, and he's interested in everything and doing a good job.
Will he end up being chief someday?
I wouldn't be surprised, but he would.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a quiet person. Temper is, don't have any, I don't think. Yeah, very nice guy.
And I wanted to ask you about George. How long have you been friends with George? Are you guys close, you and George?
I've known George since 1943. And he went in the Navy, I went in the Army. We both came back to Bristol, and I've known him now for, pretty near a lifetime, as far as that goes.
How important do you think it is for these guys to see you two still involved in that department? I mean, honestly, what does it say to them? What does it say to the younger guys who have been there?
I really don't know, but they must. I stayed all the time because I liked it. I enjoyed the fire department. And those young guys, I don't know, they probably say, sometimes you hear them say, who wants to be in here 86 years? See? I hear that a lot. And maybe they get sick of me, I don't know.
Now, I've asked George, I've asked Bill James, I've asked Roger Lane, I've asked a lot of people, what's the secret to living a long, healthy life? In your opinion.
Enjoying your life. Doing what you want to do, I guess.
How important is the community that you live in?
How important is it?
Yeah, to growing old and living a healthy, active life. Is it?
I don't know.
That's all right. However you feel about it is okay.
I like it here and spent most of my life here in Bristol.
You ever think about going to Florida?
No,
Nobody does.
no, not in Florida. I was in Florida in basic training, and there's enough of that for me. I don't care for the hot weather all the time.
So you like it here even though it's cold and...
Oh yes, yeah. Because in the winter, I've always been out in the cold by drawing oil out of Albany, see. I've always been out in the cold in the winter and never bothered me any.
I hate to ask you these stupid questions, but I have to ask you. Have any thoughts on what age you want to reach? What age you gonna get to?
What age do I want to reach?
Yep.
Oh, I'll go to 100.
All right. You think you're feeling good enough to get to 100?
Well, I don't know. I do right now, but quite a ways off.
And how old are you now?
87. Just turned 87 June.
Yep. George says he's got 2 weeks on you. George says he has 2 weeks on you.
Yeah, yes.
So does he have seniority?
He used to have, probably.
And tell me some of the stories that you shared with me the first time I met you, and some of the stories of just serving on the fire department over the years that you'll remember, that you continue to remember.
Well, one night we had a mutual aid call at Mulberry, fire call. And Fred Jackman was talking with the chief of police here. He says, you gotta go to Millbury, we got a fire. And the chief said, we'll clear the road for him. So they took off pretty quick. Fred says, "You want to get going, you know, because he's going to be coming." Nah, pretty quick. He said, "Here he comes." Got down here with Johnson Lumber Company. Fred said, "Get going, goodbye." He said, "You won't." Pretty quick, I went right by him. We got down the fire. I said, "You're a good one to clear the road for me," to the chief of police. And I don't know. We done a lot of crazy things, I guess. But one time we had a vehicle, a van, going that said didn't handle good. We had a fire in Moncton. Francis Heffernan was with me, and I had the van, and I says, "I don't see what this is handling pretty good." And Francis says, "Well, maybe you aren't going fast enough." "How fast are you going?" I said, 80. He said, "Slow down, slow down." And,
how long did Francis serve with you?
Francis must have been in there 15 years probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know, I always get out there and motor. When I went to a fire, I was going to a fire. And one time was going to a fire in Starsboro, and we had a fireman that had the new pumper automatic, and he knew there was another gear there, but he didn't know how to get it. And I was back with the tanker, see, I wanted to get by, but it'd be no good because you want to get there first. Things like that. That he said, "You want to get by, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah." And he couldn't find the other gear, and little things like that. And
How do you like being in the parade? Is that an honor for you?
it has been, but it's kind of an old story after a while.
Yeah.
You know,
I think the town appreciates having you in it.
is that right?
I think they do. Enough people have said they really appreciate having the guys who've been here for an awful long time be in that parade.
I've been in, 62 times now.
Every year.
Yeah.
What'd you do this year?
I rode in 72 with Kevin LaRose. Usually I'm in the front with George and I in the old Ford. But this time, that truck we had, I went to Western New York and got it in 1972. And maybe they figured I drive it down the cemetery, doing that, make 2 trips. But I came back, see.
How long that truck lasted till '89?
It's a 72. We still got it.
But you don't use it anymore.
No.
Could you use it?
Yeah.
On a fire?
Yeah, it's all set to go. We were just, the last one they got, that tanker pumper, and we just don't really need it, but we could use it this week because we got one laid up.
Right
there.
Yeah, that's just 3. That's 3. Yeah.
Nice. So let me ask you guys, and I asked you this before I asked Cap this, because these guys are pretty humble. They don't talk about themselves too much. But how proud do you think Cap is for his service in this community over the years? If you had to say it, even if you didn't think he was proud, that's okay. You could say that. It doesn't matter.
It's a great question. He won't beat his own drum, but he's extremely proud of the work he's done with the fire department, and we're extremely proud of what he's done for the fire department over the years. Yeah, he's a guy that doesn't need pats on the back and doesn't need to, see his name in lights and stuff. Although he likes to see it once in a while. But no, he's our hero. As far as this family concerned, he's our hero, and all the fire people are heroes for this town of Bristol, anyways. But yeah, he's been very important to the community, even though he won't say it.
Why? Why does the fire department mean so much to this community? I mean, what's the difference?
It's a small town. I think everybody knows everybody, and they've known everybody for a long time. They're brothers. We're all family here in town. I guess that's the best way you could say it. I know that fire department is Dad's second family. We of course are his first family, but that fire department is his second family, and those are all his brothers. They aren't biological brothers, but those are all his brothers, and he's very proud to be a part of that.
The kids, all the parents, the kids of all the parents who've been in the fire department over the years, we've all been allowed in the fire department. We're all 5, 10 years old. We're running down the stairs, let us slide down a pole, and stuff. I mean, it's been, back in the day, you were able to bring your family in anytime they wanted. They'd have a meeting. They'd walk up and say, "Hey, Dad, I need $5," or something like that, years ago. But yeah, Michelle's got it right. It's just, it's who Bristol is. It's who we are. The fire department is just another neighbor down the street.
Do you guys understand? And I'm putting you on the spot. Again, we're going to use very little of this, so we just pick
Sure.
the things that work. But do you guys understand how rare this community is, and that there's not a lot that are like Bristol? Do you see that now, or does Glens Falls feel like Bristol as you describe it?
Even though I live in New York, my heart is here. This is where I was born and raised, so I see it better here than I do back in New York where I live. I don't think when I was younger I understood it that well, but now that I've grown older and spent a lot of years with my father, I've ridden the truck with him. I've gone down to the firehouse with him, as I'm sure David has over the years. So we've always been a big part of it, involved in it in some way or form. So I do understand.
I'll say this, that most people have lots of things that draw them to the town that they're in. But the fire department starts to lose that tradition over years. It's not quite as important. People don't take care of each other today the way they did 10, 20, 30 years ago. Teenagers don't respect the towns that they grew up in, but this town does.
This town does.
For the most part, the
Yeah.
teenagers, for the most part, understand it. Is that...
Hopefully it's because their parents and their grandparents told them the stories about what it was like to be here and how lucky we are to have this little tiny town. I've lived in Middlebury for 30 years, and whenever somebody from out of state or I go somewhere and says, "Where are you from?" I have to think for a second because I want to say Bristol, and then I'll say I'm from Middlebury, Vermont. But but Michelle's right. It's right here.
It
Bristol's
is.
right here.
It is.
And last question for me right now would be, two questions. One is, how do I go here? Let me say this. Any memories specifically of Cap involved in the fire department? Like a call or a night, or any memories at all that stick to you, or you don't have to if you can't remember, it's all right.
My memory of him is, as soon as our fire whistle blows, he's gone. I mean, it's that serious to him. He's gone. And, Mom tells a story where he was so quick to get out there that he's gone out the front door before and fallen down because his pants fell down to his ankles and he forgot to button them up. He's in such a rush. but one of our favorite April Fool's times with him would be, when we were 10 years old, and it's very simple. He used to yell fire when he's sleeping, and he'd get up and he'd run like hell, of course, and then we'd stop him. But
About the clothes on it.
I don't remember the clothes on. You get caught here in the neck or something.
Yeah.
You ought to tell that one.
The clothesline up there, I didn't know it.
I'll let you tell that in a
Okay.
second. No,
All
I
right.
want to ask you about
Yeah.
that. But last question is, the title of this film is How to Live to Be 100. So you don't even need to know that, but
Mm.
if Cap lives a healthy life. Now, I asked Bill James, or I asked Bill James' son-in-law, I think, what's his secret? 102, and he's still going strong. And he said, well, it's his diet. I said, what? Does he eat tofu? He said, no, he eats pork and mashed potatoes and gravy. And...
There you go. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that said,
Yeah.
what is it that feeds that? What if he goes to 100 or more and stays happy? What's the key? Is it his diet? What is
It is his diet. It is his hot dogs, his bologna, his hamburg, his fried potatoes, his roast beef, and I think more importantly, he's active. He stays active in one way or another. With the fire department, he does his own grocery shopping. He takes himself to his doctor's appointments. He just keeps moving. He stays active.
Let me ask you this. If the town didn't value the fire department the way that it does, if they didn't value the older generation the way that it does, and they do, they value Cap and George and Bill, do you think that would affect his ability to want to keep living into 100 and plus years? I mean, that's what I think it is. I think he's surrounded by people who respect what he's done.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think a big chunk of his life would be missing if it wasn't for the fire department community. And I believe if the community didn't value the fire department as much, he'd really question why. That would probably stump him as to why.
I agree.
You think it adds to your health and happiness to have a town in your heart?
We lived in an apartment house over on Pleasant Street. And then the girls hung a clothesline out the back door, unknown to the other tenant myself. And he was a fireman too, see. So we had a fire call that night at midnight. We both went out the back door. We got the clothesline. He said, "When did they put that up?" We went as far as we could. It was quite a surprise I got under it. But myself, I've always done what I want to do. And why not? Drive a truck. And that's what I've done most of my life. And I think that helps your health to do something you want to do, not dread go to work every day.
What do you think of the transplants that have moved into Bristol and the Flatlanders and the new kind of shape that Main Street has taken? Is that all good? Is it tough to live with that? Or
I can put up with it. It don't bother me a bit. I don't care if you're a Flatlander or what you are. You're you, see. I'm like me.
that's a good thing, because some people think, there's a new feel to the town a little bit. Nothing big, nothing major.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, that not only...
If you owe $300,000
Okay,
on
what do you
your
got?
mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000,
Above and Beyond Award.
loans may still be able to
Right,
help you.
let
That's presented by the
Can I power this off for a second?
That's an American Legion post.
Right there, above and beyond. All right. I'm still gonna try to do that. Do it. Okay.
This one here was for 60 years of dedicated service, the Bristol Fire Department and the town of Bristol.
Nice.
And this is Addison County 1985 Firefighters Award. Firefighter of the Year Award.
Wow. Which one are you most proud of?
There you are.
I bet you are. You remember that day?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. Quite an honor, huh?
Oh, yes. And this is, I think this here is the state of Vermont. Firefighter of the Year in 1992, the state of Vermont.
Oh, that's pretty impressive. Very good.
I've got Addison County Firefighter Association Senior Firefighter of the Year.
Wow, it was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
They keep coming, Cap. That's very nice. Very nice.
Got it?
Yep.
I was my 50th year, I went to Mount Peter. And they put me in the books up there. There was two of us. The guy that went in with me, he's not in anymore, but this is a House of Representatives.
Nice. Very nice. Good. You want me to put that back up for you? You want me to get it?
I put it here.
Right up here. I'll get it.
Hang on, get somewhere. What was that hanging on?
Right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those others as life members. And that's it. All what goes along with those awards.
Very nice.